Okay, Sasha, thank you. Thank you so much for joining the School of You podcast. I am very happy that we have had this time today to sit in your home right after ice bath and after our mini retreats that we do
On Wednesday,
on Wednesdays.
our day.
You are a special person in my life, and I really uh, have a lot of love for you. And it's a blessing to be able to have a conversation with you about, well, emotions and feelings, as you are someone that I feel is a big empath, can see emotions, can feel emotions deeply yourself. But I've had situations where you were seeing me in my, like, I guess you could say, down stages, and you're like, "Hey, you okay?" You just have that ability to kind of just tap into people, and I'm really excited to jump into this conversation with you, as there's going to be a lot of wisdom that you're going to be able to give to your world, and answers maybe you'll receive for yourself and for me as well. That's it's a funny thing when we have conversations. There's a big transformation that can happen just by listening or talking about it. And we have a lot of conversations ourselves, but we haven't had the chance to record it like this time.
Right. I always think about why why we don't record ourselves all the time because yeah, it's awesome what we can reach to. Yeah, when
Hmm.
we so open and we give space for each other
Hmm.
in that level that we just ourselves and we can feel a lot um, just around each other, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I wonder if I would remember some things what we discuss about,
Uh-huh.
or yeah, sometimes I would like just make some notes. Yeah, but I think once I recorded, it was a minute of gratitude,
Yeah.
not a minute, few minutes
A
of
few minutes
gratitude.
of gratitude, what we
Yeah,
did. Yeah.
because it's not just giving few words about what you're grateful for.
Hmm.
We would expand on that and make sentences. We always do.
Oh,
I
I'm
talk a
so
lot.
grateful for this and that and that, and this is why. Yeah. I love doing that, and having a person like that to just all of a sudden in the middle of the day, yeah, hey, I'm really grateful for this. What are you grateful for? But just going back and forth all the time
Yeah,
gets the feelings good, get the
yeah,
feelings up, and
yeah,
it's really important to switch the state, because a lot of the times your feelings are, oh man, they run wild. Yeah, I'm speaking for myself, but I don't know. You also
yeah.
must, as well, as we're humans,
Yes.
and we're feeling beings. Not. I've heard this one quote that says something like along the lines of, "We're here. We're we're experienced beings. We're um, beings that feel." And it's I don't know how the way that it goes, but it really made sense for me, because I love to experience, to feel things. I just have such like that growth mindset, where it's like anything that challenges me, and we've had
Yeah.
some troubling challenges and our own discussions, but we've been able to always reflect on it, and not get too heated. Are
Mhm.
there situations in your life where you used to overreact?
Of course.
I want to hear about one.
Yeah, a lot of situations I would overreact. Um, like I wonder if that is overreaction or it's just a lot of feelings and I
All
just
right.
bring them, you know, to this world. I'm showing that I do feel certain things and I'm not ashamed to show it because there is a lot. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I cannot hide all of that. Or,
Hmm.
yeah, maybe to compare to someone else, which I wouldn't do, but sometimes I feel that I just I'm just capable to feel much more. Maybe the colors. I mean, um,
The flavors. You're
the
talking about like the
flavors, or
colors. Yeah.
maybe yeah, maybe different feelings, different emotions in one. play,
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
And I'll be like, wow, there is a lot. There is like, there is a gratitude at the same time with sadness. And I'm, I don't know, cheerful and this and that. And maybe a little bit of hate is in the same place. Um, I don't know. Maybe that's in my head that I would feel different things at the same time. Maybe I just mm, bring in a lot of thoughts to one situation, and I'll be like, okay, so this is related to this thought. This I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah. So I'll get back to overreaction. Um, I'll need to think like the
The actual experiences. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it's all right. We don't need to jump back into time, but it's fun to know that at least we're not the only person that overreacts. Because I know I have experiences where I've overreacted, just about stupid things too. Sometimes it's so little that it
Hmm.
shouldn't matter, but that's just when things don't go your way or my way that I want things to go,
Right.
or there's too much on the plate that's want to make it good and make it go your way. I mean, you have really strong and bold emotions when you are using them. Does it feel like you are able to control your emotions at this point in your life and be able to not react but respond?
Yes, and at the same time, um, I feel like I would just suppress some of the emotions
Yeah.
just in order to not be a lot on each of the emotion experience. You know what I mean? Like if it's a lot of, like I've experienced a lot of positive emotions, like very high state of my mind, my body,
Mm.
and I want to scream. I want to like put it out to this world. I want to be like, wow, this is life. And I would be very careful with that, just because it might be very, uh, I don't know, in a way scary for others that it overacting, overacting on your emotion.
Uh-huh.
So, um, yeah, I found myself a few times recently uh, that I have a little bit left from some of the situations, like that
Oh, like almost.
happiness,
Ah,
you know?
okay.
Like I wanted to show that happiness much more, but I just kept myself from um, putting it out. Yeah.
uh,
Just thinking that maybe it would be a lot for others.
you
So
kind of hold it.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What's your experience like with changing it and switching over to
yeah.
responding?
Um I will bring that up at the tool which helps me
Okay.
to that tool. You use it. We use it today. So that tool helped me develop kind of, let's say, okay, so I have some time before I can react, uh, be my reaction to the world, yeah, to the person. Ice bath, right? So once you're there, um, you
Or reacting.
you are reacting. So, or you are responding
Hmm.
to the feeling. The extra stress is coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like extreme, sorry, not extra, extreme. And yeah, for the like, you remember your first time, right? When you got into there. So, I jumped out. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
my reaction.
Yeah.
And with repetition, like it's been over like 1.5 year practicing that. So it cannot be the same anymore because I developed that immunity
Oh,
to
sure.
that. Wow, this is like something that's strong happening to your body. Um, yeah, like you're gonna die. Just hey, leave it.
Yeah.
Don't stay here. So I I've noticed like if I am in stressful situation, so especially if I'm in contact with other people, yeah, this is the most I think I would like have reaction or responding to in situations. So um yeah, I have some time. I would not bring in my emotions right away. So because I have some time to think of the emotion. Okay, so what are the ways to take that emotion, to not swallow it, right? To not leave
Push
it
it away.
inside.
Yeah.
How can I express that emotion? So,
Well,
you know what I mean? Yeah, a bit hard to explain.
of
So,
course, it's deep.
yeah,
What we're talking about is
yeah,
emotions, right? So it's a thing that's very personal. But you have noticed a difference after 1.5 years of going into the ice bath. You've noticed a difference in how you've not just, of course, in the ice bath, what happens in your feelings in the ice bath, but in your day to day life. You've noticed a difference.
of course, of course.
Well,
That's what I'm comparing. Yeah,
uh-huh.
like that. This tool helped me to develop um, kind of extra time between me getting into stress and my like reaction or my I'm showing my
Yeah.
emotions
Mhm.
because I believe I uh the best I can do for myself if I experience certain emotions is to not just let them stay inside of myself, you know.
Yeah.
But there are different ways to express them. Yeah. Like some healthy ways, not healthy ways. And mostly we would express our emotions right away without taking some time,
Right.
without thinking what I'm going to do with this emotion. Yeah. If I'm super angry, I have, let's say, two different ways. Maybe there are, not maybe, it's definitely many ways to express your like anger. That's, yeah. Uh, but these few, I don't know, few seconds even of thinking how it's gonna go, it um gives you different outcome, right? Um yeah, so ice bath helped me to win few seconds. I bet it's more, it's not few seconds. So what I would do is that maybe I can even like stay a little bit with that emotion
Oh, sure.
and yeah, not be dangerous for others.
Yeah.
I don't.
You know, in Vipassana, they talked about this as well, because what happens when you're meditating, especially the way that the Vipassana teaches it,
Mhm.
you are sitting there and trying to experience and just be aware of what's going on as best as possible without trying to enforce the way that you want it to
Mhm.
be or the way that you don't want it to be. Right? This is the sankara, as they call it, the
Mhm.
likes and the don't likes,
Mhm.
and that's creating expectation. But with that, they talk about that even though there's certain things that you don't like,
Mhm.
everything is always changing. it's impermanent, interchangeable with the good and the bad, how yin and yang is coming together. When you're experiencing situations, there's times where you may feel that you want to react and get super angry, yell at someone.
Mm-hmm.
But what Vipassana, or that style of meditation, what ice bath, these tools that allows us to experience really harsh things,
Mm-hmm.
pain immediately, it gives us more time. Like
Yes.
you were just talking about, how it gives you more time to not respond, or sorry, react
React right away.
right away. And
Yeah.
and you'll notice yourself also, because yes, there's the amount of time that you were to react to it, the amount of time of how long it actually takes you. But then there's also the aspect of how long it takes you to get over it.
Right. Right.
And that's also a challenging thing, because I know it's almost like grudges or karma,
Mhm.
these things that you just carry with you, like emotional baggage. It feels so heavy all the time, and you're walking around, and all of a sudden you can't even know what is going on. You're just feeling certain things. It's definitely still the questions that we're asking ourselves unconsciously, and the experiences that we've had that we haven't been able to fully experience,
Yeah.
that you were talking about. And to be able to understand that it's moving away slowly, but only when we get better at using these tools and being able to witness ourselves, because that's the journey of how we can move forward in these situations where things that we don't like happen to us, and when we don't get what we want,
Right.
because that's the really hard thing to do. So when we're talking about moving away and letting things kind of compress, where you have less amount of time than it would be. So say you were to hold on to that for a week, or maybe a month before, and then it was like 2 weeks before. Now it's a week before. Now it's a few days, one day, an hour, a few minutes. Right? It slowly starts to, as you get better and better over time, compress to make it feel much better, or at least be complete with it.
Yeah.
What is your experience like when you're trying to be complete, or you're working on being complete with your emotions, your feelings? Because a lot of the times, there's experiences that I've had, and for everyone else as well, that we don't like. What's your way of becoming complete with your emotions,
Mm-hmm.
your feelings, to have that time not last a whole year where we're holding that emotional baggage?
Mm-hmm.
What's your
Yeah.
tools that you use for that, or to the thought
Yeah.
processes, whatever it is?
Yeah. I'll try to mm, come to the tool, but before that, I would talk about I um I teach myself more and more to welcome any of emotions. What are there out there? So first of all, I would separate myself from the emotions and feelings, right? So me is not my emotions.
Yeah.
That's what mm, we've learned that, right? So maybe we didn't know about that, but
The
now,
attachment.
yeah, now it's kind of um, what a lot of people talking about. Yeah. So it's you, and emotions, feelings is just visitors, right? So they come and maybe they go.
It's like the animals that walk into your house
Animals, all
sometimes. You
right.
remember that we had that
Of course,
conversation?
yes, yes, and little Mate,
Yeah.
and kitty cat Mate. Yeah. So, and we decide what we do as this visitors, right? So, if you really want to spend some time with this one of the visitors, okay. So this is up to you. You can hold on, hold to the visitor.
The feeling, yeah.
Um, there are reasons why would we want to keep something to ourselves, yeah, and maybe we're not able to say goodbye. Okay, so you came, and now it's time to go. Okay, but what I'm trying to say, I welcome all of them, right? So I used to hate or feeling not happy when I experience negative emotions. Of course, I mean that's the most we would be not happy about. Yeah. Like, okay, when I'm grateful, when I'm thankful, when I'm cheerful and happy, it's great. Yeah. When I'm sad, when I'm angry, when I'm jealous, when I'm mm, uh, any other emotions, which was like, let's say, I don't like to call them negative. Maybe they just not,
That's a good.
they're not maybe as useful, or maybe they are, I think they're useful as much as feelings was plus, right? Minus plus. I don't know. So
How are your emotions, or the negative ones, useful? What do you think is that? Because they can be useful in some ways. Like
yeah.
you have to enforce your anger onto someone, or you have to enforce. You can be sad. You can show empathy
Mhm.
because that's an emotion too. We're given these emotions as gifts, as
Yeah.
visitors for reasons. Sometimes it's helpful to let them be experienced, but other times you said it's not always the best to be in the best state.
Mhm.
If you're going to go perform music, or if you're going to host a session for someone, you can't be in that state. You will affect everyone around you. Like not just on a thought level, the way you speak, but on an
Yeah, the
energetic
energy.
level,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Um let's talk about, for example, sadness. Yeah. Sadness. If you're not going anywhere, yeah, you're not affecting other people. So how can you use sadness for, like, why would I call it useful feeling? Is, I think, the most I would love love of my negative feelings
Oh, sadness you
is
love the
sadness.
most.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Um yeah. Especially when it's rainy. I
Oh,
feel sad. I go to my piano. I can create a lot of things what I not able to create when I'm just happy.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think deep down I'm this kind of sad person. Even I don't behave like that. I don't look like that. All my like the activities I do, and uh, I feel positive energy most of the times. But if you listen to my music, it's just piano melodies. They're all about like this melancholy, that's like rain, sadness, crying. It's they're not making you suicide, commit suicide, or like being depressed after, but there's a lot of beauty in that sadness. So I use sadness to create.
Yeah.
It inspires me to be very, like I feel sensitive when I'm sad. It kind of switches on appreciation to this world. I don't know, through sadness, I can
Um,
feel that. I can feel that, wow, life is so beautiful. And look at this, I don't know, look at this relief.
so you're almost saying that when you experience such an emotion that like sadness, the opposite is also greatly appreciated as well and experienced. Is if sadness is one emotion, the opposite emotion could be appreciation, right? And so you get to experience both of those on a strong level
Yeah.
by being able to utilize your sadness, not to bottle it up and to try to push it away, but because you're also being very utilizing with your sadness, that you create stuff with it
Hmm.
to be able to help others, or to, you never know one day if you will create and you will share your music with the world, but that will be able to be experienced through other people as well. They'll witness that feelings, and vibe with it. It'll
Mm-hmm.
match their level of what feelings they're currently on. And some enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
Some really enjoy their sad emotions,
Yeah.
their angry emotions. Some people like to be in that state, but I don't. It's when we talk about these negative emotions, the emotions that we put these negative labels on, I don't I believe that most people use them too often, and they get
Mm,
themselves into that state too often because it's comforting.
right. I, mm,
But there's ways to get out of that, and I think if people don't use those emotions and they're not experiencing the other side of it, the opposite, then they're not getting a full experience.
exactly. It's if we look at the circle as a just a shape, and all the feelings are
Oh,
like around like a spectrum, yeah, like with
sure.
different shades of colors.
Yeah.
So um this circle can just grow up, yeah, becoming bigger. Like I like to visualize feelings as with colors, yeah, and I have that kind of, I always said about why I feel extremely like I feel bright green. Bright green is the happiest state I
Oh,
can be at.
uh-huh.
So, and green, then it goes like closer to yellow, not much of whatever colors between red and green, but bright green, not bright green, bright red.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, from bright red to bright green,
Uh-huh.
angry and happy.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't know. I had just that, like, two colors appearing to me from like very young age. Yeah, I'm so angry. I'm so bright red. Yeah. As more um, you want to be bigger. Yeah. You want to feel, you want to sense more in this life. Yeah. I think as more we accepting ourselves, getting closer to ourselves, as more we can feel or notice our feelings. So, kind of whatever circle we have, yeah, it's just coming to me right now at the moment, you
Good.
know?
I love that. Yeah.
So, let's say all these colors divided in different sections,
Okay.
yeah? Like, I don't know, pink, green, yellow, blah, 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 blah.
Right. They're scattered around this.
Yeah. And we have what we explored in ourselves, what we accepted, all the emotions and feelings we accepted, they colorful here. And like
Oh,
behind that, uh,
the different shades.
they kind of the same sections,
Yeah.
but they just black and white. They not available yet, you know?
Hmm.
you you see that picture?
Okay.
So here is colorful. You know them, and there many more which are not kind of explored,
Or labeled.
or labeled. Okay, yeah, not explored for yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe you just maybe some emotions figuring more, yeah, in your life than the others, and you like making it colorful more and more, so you kind of fulfill all that spectrum with colors. And as more you explore good ones, as more you have the opposite ones, right? So one doesn't exist without the other. As more you love, as more you can hate. You're able to hate very much if you're very much loving person. Yeah, I feel like that. As more I can love someone, as more I'm able. I'm not using to, I'm not choosing to hate someone, right? But I'm able, I'm capable.
Yeah. Always capable.
I'm capable to go in a very strong level of one of the other or the other.
So I heard this from someone. I don't know if you have
Mhm.
experienced this before or heard of this. What do you think is more important? To live in a strong, healthy, successful state of being with your emotions and feelings. What do you think is more important? Having more positive emotions or removing negative emotions to be in a more like a successful state?
Interesting question. I think having more positive emotions.
So what he said was having less negative emotions.
Hmm.
There, you can talk amazing and you can have more positive experiences. It's nothing wrong, and like people we have to encourage that to think more positively. But if you really want to change the wiring, the habitual patterns of your brain, it's more important to remove negative emotions as or thoughts more or less. The negative thoughts more than the negative or the more positive thoughts. Because when we look at the cycle of action, it's thoughts, feelings, and then action. And most people, when they look at emotions, they see it as something that either enables them or inhibits them
Hmm.
from doing stuff. I think that emotions are very powerful, extremely powerful, where they have inhibited me many times in my life, made me feel certain things, made me think certain things. Because when I've thought and felt something, then I would go back to the thoughts and I'd be like, okay, where did this feeling come
Yeah.
from? And then I will inevitably just take a different action based on the back and forth thinking and feeling. And especially if I'm trying to say, get productive in my work, a lot of the times I'm going back and forth in my thinking and feeling. And what's happening here is just inaction, basically. I'm procrastinating. And it's what I'm trying to get at is with the less negative thoughts and the feelings, they enable us to be in a more fulfilling state of being.
Hmm.
And I mean, you can define fulfilling as much as best as you like. For me, fulfillment is being able to experience everything that a human would be able to experience,
Hmm.
but at the same time, always being able to control you, the self, me. If I want to experience a certain emotion, I will let myself experience that. But at the same time, I know how to get out of that state
Hmm.
and go into a new one
Right.
because there is an okay thing. It's a very accepting thing to be into an emotion, into a feeling.
Hmm.
And I think everyone should be able to experience it. That's what humans are doing.
Designed for.
Yeah, you know?
We designed for it. Right.
So it's like to have a better experience, that's the most important thing. If someone has an experience or they don't know what joy is,
Hmm.
then there's also the question of how do you even experience, how do you create joy within you? Because I mean, when we're talking about
Hmm.
expressing an
Yeah.
emotion, it's typically having to do with a
Yeah.
negative one. Because we
Right.
don't want the negative ones to be bottled in here. We typically want the positive ones to stick around, right? An emotion or a feeling, I've heard that it typically lasts 90 seconds
Hmm.
when you first experience it.
And then you think of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it's just the thought that keeps repeating, and
Yeah.
then the thoughts will create the emotion again or the feeling again. And so you're just in the loop of thinking and feeling, right?
Yeah.
And so when we look at this of the positive of joy,
Yeah.
we want to be able to create that. But then
Hmm.
also when we look at, let's say, shame, that's a really horrible one I've felt. That one, how do you express that, right? Because you don't want to create shame. You want to remove it technically. But the way to remove it is not by ignoring it, but by expressing it,
Yeah.
right? Just like we would with
Exactly.
a joyful expression.
Yeah. Important is to notice that. And I don't want to distract myself from shame. I don't want to run away and put something on top of it and be like, hey, don't feel it, don't feel it, don't feel it. Feel something else instead. I don't want more and more. I want to experience that shame and be like, that's okay. It will go away,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like nature, it's changing all the time, it's not staying with, it's not staying the same. It's not the same for like 2 seconds later, right?
Hmm.
And with emotions is the same. It comes and goes. You don't even need to do anything with most of emotions. You can just observe them. I'm sitting and I'm looking at this emotion, and a minute later, 90 seconds later, it lasts for 90 seconds. It's not there. I just needed to wait for 90 seconds. So it's not there.
Yeah.
And would I need to express it? Not always. If I haven't learned how to express my shame, especially when I'm around people. Like
Yeah.
like I don't wanna once again, I don't wanna distract myself from that feeling in that emotion. Yeah?
Yeah. You also don't want to put it onto other people.
Yeah.
You don't want to give that
Yeah.
that to other people.
Or um I don't wanna I don't want to make it bigger than it is already.
Yeah. I mean, it's you can look at joy or sorry, sadness as well.
Yeah.
When you look at sadness, maybe you experience that through the piano, and you want to put your sadness into the piano. You can't really put shame into the piano. All of a sudden, if you put shame into the piano, you're not going to want to play piano anymore.
I just imagine that song of a shame. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a fun song. Yeah, no way. I don't want to listen to that all day.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing to be able to experience all these different emotions. I don't want me personally to feel a lot of bad ones. I'll let myself feel the good ones, especially, and a lot of the
Yeah.
times what happens is most people are living in the same state, the same feelings their entire life
Right.
because that's the chemicals that they've created that gives them certain comfortable feelings, like with sadness and playing the
Mhm.
piano, or with happiness and excitement with ice bath. These are things that just all of a sudden show up
Mhm.
right away because it's the habitual chemical thing that
Right.
habit,
Yeah.
right? To just jump into.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's a helpful thing to have the good ones and the bad ones all the time. For me, I experience the good ones more often. I'd say I'd do the most amount of work to try to experience the good
Mhm.
ones.
You know the ways how to get uh, good ones, right? You do a lot of things what bring you
Yeah.
positive, good emotions. So you know all those, yeah, activities or etc. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good to have ways to experience them, and you have lifestyle like that.
Hmm.
So for some people, they have lifestyle which makes them feel opposite, right? The lifestyle requires to do certain things what provokes, yeah, and other emotions rise up.
Yeah.
So lucky
That's
you.
yeah. Right.
Lucky you with choices. Yeah, me too.
Hmm. The lifestyle, it's really big of what you
Yeah,
said, because that is your environment,
yeah.
what you do every day, and
But the choices is a choice. To be happy is a choice, right?
exactly.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And to
And just
be sad is a choice. And sometimes I love to choose to be sad, not because I have no choice. I choose to be that one because I find beauty in it. And through sadness, I have a lot of things what I cannot get through happiness, for example.
hmm.
Yeah,
And it serves you well.
it serves me well. And I'm not saying, guys, you should feel sad in order to create things. No, it works for me. Like,
Wow.
it works for me in terms of creation, right?
Okay.
Like, yeah.
But
And I'm not bringing myself to, like, even if I'm sad and I need to work with people, um, it, I would, I would choose not to put it on the people. I would be experiencing my sadness, but guys, this is my feelings, and you don't even need to know about them if I don't want to show it. Yeah, it's not like I'm putting the mask. It's not about this, but like I still can do my work well. I still can bring other things to the table, still being sad if I want to be, right? Because I wanna see beautiful things through sadness. And I just kept it for myself,
hmm.
you know?
But what if it's like jumpy music? Would you like that more than sad music? Dun 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 dun, something jumping.
Right.
That would be fun stuff to play as well. I feel and to
Yeah.
create with. What makes you want to lead towards the sadness one emotion more than the other emotions?
I'm attractive to this music more. Like I feel
Is that because you've had more sadness in your life? Do
I
you
don't
think?
know. I don't know, but every time I would, because I don't know any song, I'm just improvising, right?
Yeah.
And all my song while I'm improvising is some kind of sadness vibe.
Uh-huh.
So I don't even know how to play happy music
Uh-huh.
unless I would try my best. I would be like, okay, so now your task is to create some fun.
So think about it like this. What if how old were you when you first started playing piano?
Very small. I don't know.
Very young.
5, 4, 6. I don't know.
And were there experiences in your life that made you feel sad around this time? An immense amount or a good amount of sadness?
Say again. Ask again.
Was in during this time when you first started,
Yeah.
5, 6 years old, started to play piano, was there a lot of experiences that you had with your family,
Yeah.
friends, that made you feel sad? More often than other emotions?
I'm not sure, but I feel like yes.
Right.
You know
Interesting.
what? What I remember, this is for sure answering the question. I wasn't attracted to the piano that I would be like, okay, I've chosen to play this instrument by myself. No, that's my mom who is the pianist as well. Like, yes, she's graduated from like music school, blah blah blah, and it's in Ukraine, in Russia, it's common to have the piano in
Yeah.
the apartment in the house. So and people would go to music school. It's very very common. Um yeah, I had like few classes, few years in music school, but not more. I decided I don't want to do that anymore, so I asked my mom to take me out of school.
Well,
So, but I had instrument at home all the time. And this is what I remember that every time I would feel sad or emotional in some way, and I need to express myself, but I have no one to talk to, I would go to the instrument and I would speak that language, you know? So, and the most I would be emotional with kind of sadness or something related to that, something what is not not joyful, not pleasant. And yeah, eh, I think it's um a good buddy to talk to, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Like
Music is a
it,
great way.
yeah, you can express yourself the way you need, the way you want.
Yeah.
And yeah, what do you have in response? Yeah, the sounds. I mean, the sounds
Kind of that
you would
makes
create.
sense with the certain feeling that
Yeah,
fall in line with it.
yeah. Because I think if I'm happy, I don't need it. I don't need this body. When I'm happy,
Oh, wow.
I'm doing something else.
Yeah.
That's why it's so related with
Oh, so
sadness.
you have related your experience of conditioning yourself with sadness to the piano, and happiness is conditioned into being doing active work with people,
Yeah, or
experiencing
dancing.
or dancing. Sure. Yeah, dancing to other music, the upbeat stuff, whistling, whatever it is that you do. Yeah, right? This stuff is associated with the happy feelings, but then when you're in the side of the sadness or other feelings, you go to the piano to kind of comfort yourself. It's the place of comfort for you, the that has given you the most experience for sadness. And so that makes more sense that for you to play this piano, you only play it for the reasons of creating sad music, the stuff that has comforted you since 5, 6 years old. And if you were to take away and try to all of a sudden create happy music, it just doesn't click, right? Because you're used to doing other things that
Yeah,
have made you happy,
yeah,
right? Instead of the
yeah,
sad music.
yeah. When I was happy, I would, I don't know, just jump around, run around, and yeah, playing with my friends, I guess.
Yeah.
But when I'm sad, it's kind of like this long day, such a lonely day, you
Mhm,
know.
mhm.
Um, because when I'm sad, I want to talk, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to express myself and be like, hey, hmm,
So when you're doing it's like you're talking with your hands. That is the response of the sounds that you hear from the instrument. That's the response.
yeah.
You're talking to him by you're talking to it
I don't
by,
know even what I'm
you know?
like,
Yeah,
what I'm
you're just
talking
going because
there.
it's improvising,
Yeah,
you know?
just there.
It's just there. It's a very healthy way to experience sadness. But the thing that is um important to understand, I feel, is to not be comfortable to always want to go towards it. Because I mean,
Mm,
you can and maybe you all of a sudden have an urge to play the piano, not because you're sad, but you will just go to the piano and probably feel sad or just create that
right.
music, right? So you're putting yourself already into the feeling, the emotion, by being at the place of where you have experienced that comfort. And so that is all of a sudden, an habitual thing, right? So this is the idea of where are the things that you can start to put yourself into situations that will automatically make you feel happy or joyful or grateful, that you can do on a daily basis, like ice bath. That immediately, I mean, it's a crazy thing anyways with the thing that it does to your body, but it's also changing your focus, which is why it's so helpful. Your focus is changing in the piano. Your body is not really moving much. It's just the fingers and the
Yeah.
touch. And there's nothing like an emotional shock or just
Mm-hmm.
like a physical shock
Mm-hmm.
like the ice bath does. But it's important to understand how you can associate the positive emotions with the positive things in your
Yeah.
life, and to put yourself in those situations more often. But when you're feeling down in the negative ones, to be able to have a thing like playing the piano to experience the bad ones. I have these different activities that makes me feel super inspired, creative,
Mm-hmm.
and happy, and kind of proud as well. And these are things that I have to experience and to kind of try to be able to notice which new things, new types of situations that I can go into that will create these feelings for me. And this is what I like to do when I'm in a positive state, when I'm already feeling good things. Because then I know that I can associate these positive things with a new positive thing and create more things to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
also a positive thing to do. But if I'm feeling negative, right, if I'm in a bad emotion and I start to do things that are like you were feeling sad, you were playing piano sad, going into things feeling a certain negative emotion will allow you to then express your emotion using that feeling. So you can go about this either way, right? This is something that you can either experience when
Mm-hmm.
you're happy and be like, okay, I'm going to do this and I know I'm going to feel happy. I'm going to go surfing, I'm going to go skateboarding, I'm going to do whatever and I'm going to feel happy. Or I can go surfing, I'm going to go skateboarding and I'm going to express my sadness, my frustration,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or I'm going to go work out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
these
Mm-hmm.
habits that you associate with certain emotions, but it's all dependent on the first time, typically, or the first multiple times, the state you're in and what is you're moving into with that. This is something that
Right.
just I'm kind of understanding as we're talking
Mm-hmm.
about this. And I think that by putting yourself in those situations is better to have the happy state. You can, I mean, we were talking about how to what I brought up to you earlier was how what is more important, more positive thoughts or more
Yeah.
or removing negative thoughts, right? So when we're in those bad feelings, I think it's more helpful. It's extremely helpful to find also those activities to try something new, even though you know I've had times where I don't feel motivated to want to do anything, especially when I'm feeling shame or some other sadness or depending on what emotion that's
Mm-hmm.
negative for me to do something. It's just it's not a fun experience. I don't know if it's the same for you because we also have so many emotions. And like you said, this whole spectrum of the different colors and then the black and whites, the ones that haven't been labeled yet or experienced yet. Those are the ones that it's like slowly turning into a different color
Mm-hmm.
as you unlock it.
Yeah, yeah. Right. You got it. You got that image.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 And so like it slowly starts to get brighter and brighter as a different color by you repeating
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that emotion more
Mm-hmm.
often.
I feel like us people, if we're not in contact with ourselves, that connection with ourselves enough, quite enough, we we don't know what we feel. You know, it is a scary thing. Like the other day, I was talking with a friend, and he asked this question, like, would you always be? Have you always been in like connection with yourself and noticing what you experience and why you do certain things? I was like, no. Just recently, I would start noticing what exactly is that inside of me. Uh, it's scary, right? Not knowing what's happening.
Yeah.
You think that um, you think that you are just, I don't know, let's say angry or frustrated, but in fact, you're just jealous. And jealousy can show you something. It's not anger. With anger, we work differently rather than jealousy, right? Jealousy would be useful in many things as well, right? If you know what to do with that. So it appears, and then you're like, okay, jealousy, what do you what do you show me? And with anger, you cannot do the same things. So it's important to name what you feel.
But is it different words or the same words all the time for you?
Depends what is there. But
You think you're experiencing new emotions a lot? Do you have that? Or is it the same all
not
the time?
really.
Is it mostly the same then all the time as of right
How about
now?
you?
For the most part, I feel like I'm experiencing new ones every day,
Hmm.
but I haven't been able to recognize that.
Not recognizing them. Yeah, same.
And but at the same time, I know which ones I'm feeling every day as well.
Hmm.
And as I become more familiar, but also expand my own vocabulary
Hmm.
to then be able to understand what emotions I'm feeling,
Hmm.
and I'll be able to, oh,
Yeah. Eh, yeah. It's the matter how many how many you've noticed exist in general, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, so this is this.
Right. That's a huge, that's like that's a meditation
Yeah.
aspect, right? You know,
Mm,
the body scan and being
yeah.
able to notice what
Yeah.
labels you can put to certain emotions. Oh, I'm feeling this here. I'm feeling this here.
Yeah. In certain parts of your body and color or shape of that,
Yeah.
And because they do have a color and a shape,
It's
kind
different
of.
for everyone too.
Yeah, it's different. Maybe smell,
Oh,
maybe sound.
it's either visual, auditory, or something that's associated with the body.
Yeah. So, mm, is all related, is all connected. It might be connected to your senses.
If you were blind and deaf, would you experience the same amount? Well, I mean, you're not blind or deaf, but
Let's okay, let's
it,
imagine.
it's you can't
So
imagine.
if I'm blind and deaf, would I be able to experience the same feelings? I don't know. Let's ask scientists.
Yeah.
But if some of the senses are not available, so you don't have certain thoughts,
Hmm.
so you don't have certain
Why do you feel disgust?
hmm, because I see something, right?
Or
Or I taste something,
or
or I hear something,
or you smell?
smell, or I'm like, oh no, what is that?
All right. Why would you feel
Right.
anger?
Yeah,
Why would you feel? Yeah,
all that.
it's definitely
So,
senses.
and it's all connected to your ego. You developed your ego through your senses.
Right.
And if you have no certain senses, your ego is not developed.
But what is it? When we talking about these senses, what's the main characteristic that's going on? It's either you like it or you don't like it.
Yeah.
And based on that association,
Mm-hmm.
when you either like it or don't like it, that is where the thought is created, right?
And then emotions
Yeah,
come after.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right. But that all starts as it starts with the senses. And I really, when I am going to try to experience any new emotion, the first thing I will try to ask myself is this truth?
Mm-hmm.
Is this real? Why is this real to me?
Yeah, to be aware of what are you experiencing here. Here is everywhere, all over your body, right? All these emotions. And you're not bad person for experiencing negative emotions. Not at all.
Yeah.
Um, your actions might be,
The determinism, the determining
yeah,
factor.
yeah, yeah. When you decided you've been running away, you've been distracting yourself from certain not comfortable emotions, and at some point you're like, what if I would experience certain emotions fully, not distracting myself from them anymore? Like, would it, like, will it kill me? No, like, you curious to see, like, experimenting with yourself that once you have visitors, these emotions, one of them, few, I don't
Mhm.
know. Yeah, once I've learned that it comes and goes without you doing anything, it helped me a lot. I started just looking at emotions, not distracting myself with something else. And
Yeah.
I saw they just left me. They came and then they went away. I did nothing. I could just sit and observe.
That's a really good question that you ask yourself, though, right at the beginning of like, hey, what am I distracting myself from?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I? Is it going to be worse if I let it be? And that's like where that awareness comes in. It starts to develop more and more
Yeah,
as you're just going to get curious. You can just start to find out
yeah,
as awareness comes from curiosity.
yeah.
I mean, you can say ignorance is the thing that will destroy you, but I mean, you don't need to know everything to be happy. You
Mm-hmm.
just need to know how to get yourself into a happy place with a happy activity.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily a bad thing to experience.
Yeah,
Like you're not a bad person for experiencing
yeah.
bad things, but it's a normal thing to experience anything that you
Mm-hmm.
are feeling now because you're human.
I want to run away from that, yeah, not comfortable feeling.
You forget that it will pass away on its own.
Yeah, I forget. And then I'll be like, hey, talk to yourself as to your best friend. Look at yourself from outside, from this bubble. Get out. Get out of the bubble and cheer for yourself.
Yeah.
Kind of like, hey, don't run away. Stay. Look, nothing, nothing, it will not kill you. Like, explore on this emotion.
Hmm.
What it can give you, what can it show you, what can you do within this feeling? I mean, in a good
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
We getting back to it, I want to say about piano. Positive, what good things you can make with these feelings?
Yeah. Hmm.
If I'm angry, what good things I can do to myself? Do some sport, anger motivates you to be like, oh,
Mm.
I'm gonna I used to do Muay Thai, right? And I'll be like, okay, so here I am strong in my during the trainings.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm strong because that feeling and that emotion
Is
can is
expressed.
a fuel.
Yeah, the fuel.
So yeah,
I
I
love it.
don't want to destroy everything around, especially uh, in front of my people, right?
It'll be so great to see where your life goes, especially with the things that you do. And I'm very excited to start to create retreats with you and to
Same here.
be putting our energy and effort to the world. It's going to be a blessing to see that.
I'm so thankful for everything what you're doing and have conversations with people you can talk about anything and especially feelings,
Oh, yeah.
especially emotions. Um, it's one of the biggest parts of our beings, right? Is to have emotions and
Wow.
like we operating on that. This is a fuel for us, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It really is.
Yeah, if I'm happy, like I will create something what can be useful for the whole world, for example, right? Or opposite, that music maybe,
Mm,
you know.
mm.
So it's by the emotions, not just out of nothing, is what makes you
Oh.
feel something.
Mm,
Noticing more and more.
mm.
And by asking, what do you feel right now? We can unlock something what we haven't noticed for our entire life.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that we're able to mm, express them, ask about them, and accept our own feelings and feelings of each other if we in communication.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hands in the circle.
hands on the circle like this, you mean? Or like
You said that we're putting our experiences in the circle of emotions, right? Hands in the circle.
Thank
Thank you, Sasha.
you, Sam.